Mr Scatterbrain, originated by Roger Hargreaves, illustrated by Katie Girls Forever. This is the story of Mr Scatterbrain. Mr Scatterbrain was a very absent-minded person, but he was not as forgetful as Mr Forgetful. For example, if he was going out for a walk or to do some shopping, and because he had so much going on in his head, he would keep checking to see if he had remembered to close his door. For example, if Mr Scatterbrain was making breakfast and looking outside his window, he noticed his plants needed watering. "Those plants could use a drink," he'd say, and he would go and water the plants. Whilst watering, he would suddenly remember about his breakfast. "My eggs are burning," he'd say, and he would rush back to the kitchen, still holding the hosepipe, which caused quite a mess, as you can imagine. It was a nice Saturday morning, and Mr Scatterbrain was driving to visit his older sister. Now, you may know or maybe have read about his older sister before, but that is another story. Once a year, if there was one thing Mr Scatterbrain didn't want to do, it was to upset his older sister by missing her birthday. "Don't be late for school, Arthur!" cried out Mr Scatterbrain, not realizing what day it was, as he drove past Arzu reading a book. As you've probably guessed, Mr Scatterbrain was the younger brother of little Miss Scatterbrain. Little Miss Scatterbrain had been very busy cleaning her house as best she could. It was getting late, and little Miss Scatterbrain kept anxiously looking at her clock. "I wonder where he is, or if he's even coming," she thought to herself. Just at that moment the doorbell sounded, and sounded, and sounded. Mr Scatterbrain, as usual, was playing around with the doorbell. When little Miss Scatterbrain finally opened the door, after checking every door on the way, she took one look at her brother and said, "You are late." To which he replied, "I'm not late, I'm your brother." "But you are still late." "No, you silly sausage, I'm still your brother." They went on like this for hours. Would you like to know why he was late? On his way there, he stopped at the toy store to look for a gift, where he met Dastgir and his younger brother Ismail. They were looking to buy the latest water gun, the Super Soaker 9000, for a water fight. "Look, it's Mr Scatterbrain!" cried Dastgir with a devilish grin. "Would you like to join us, Mr Scatterbrain?" asked Ismail with a polite smile. Mr Scatterbrain took one look at the boys and walked back out. "Nope, nope, nope. No, thank you, boys. I've already taken my shower." Mr Scatterbrain hurried next door into the fruit and vegetable store. He thought he might get some fruit and vegetables and make his sister a beautiful fruit salad. "Is there anything I can help you with, my flower?" the assistant said, trying to be as pleasant as possible. Flower. Flower, thought Mr Scatterbrain. Yes, please, said Mr Scatterbrain. Yes, please, what? Asked the confused store assistant. Flower. I'd like flour, please, said Mr Scatterbrain. It's to make a gift for my sister. Well, I'm sorry, sir. We only have fruit and vegetables here. Maybe the store across the road can help you get the right flour. Mr Scatterbrain left the confused shop assistant and went across to the flower shop. When Mr Scatterbrain entered the flower shop, he thought to himself, "What an odd place to keep flour! It looks more like a jungle." "Flour, please," said Mr Scatterbrain to the shop owner. "I want to make a birthday gift for my sister." "What kind of flower would you like, sir? A rose, a tulip, an orchid, a sunflower?" No, flour, like to make a birthday gift cake," said Mr Scatterbrain. "Oh, I see," said the shop owner. "Well, we don't have that kind of flour here, sir. Why don't you try another shop?" When Mr Scatterbrain left the flower shop, he thought to himself, "I don't even know how to make a cake, so why was I buying flour?" He noticed the time. "Oh dear, it's getting late, and I haven't got a present for my sister yet," worried Mr Scatterbrain. Just then Mr Scatterbrain noticed a familiar gift shop. As soon as Mr Scatterbrain had entered the gift shop, Sean, the gift shop owner, took one look at him and screamed, "Oh no, not you again!" You see, Sean was very familiar with Mr Scatterbrain, as every year, no matter how hard he tried, he could never help Mr Scatterbrain find a gift he liked. It was either too big, or too small, or too hard, or too soft, or too expensive, or too cheap, or Mr Scatterbrain just couldn't decide. "I just want to buy a gift," said Mr Scatterbrain. "Out! Out! Or I'll give you a gift you won't soon forget," Sean said angrily, waving his clenched fist. Mr Scatterbrain left the shop empty-handed. A mysterious friend had seen and heard all this, and decided to help Mr Scatterbrain. She gave Mr Scatterbrain a present that might suit his older sister, and that she would be delighted to have. Mr Scatterbrain took the present and thanked the mysterious friend, then hurried off to his sister's house. And that was how Mr Scatterbrain arrived late to his older sister's house. "Here you go, sis," said Mr Scatterbrain as he handed over the birthday present. "Oh, isn't it lovely?" she said as she admired the present. "My old signpost was wrong. Now I can finally replace it. Please allow me to help you swap your old signpost, sis," said Mr Scatterbrain. And so the two of them swapped the sign in their own scatterbrained fashion. Thank you for listening.